Welcome to another episode of the Lady Trucking CEO podcast. Today I have another amazing guest, and I am so excited to introduce Miss Marian King. Can you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, hello. Again, my name is Marian E. King, owner of EmmTeeNest LLC, doing business in the capacity that you all will see me now is EmmTeeNest Logistics. I have been in service for the last 3 years. I teach people how to start and run their own independent transportation companies, focus on the dispatching area. I also teach people how to do lead calling and lead generation businesses also, that was birthed from being a dispatcher, but there's a lot of time in between, which we'll get into it. So
Yeah.
I wanted to create a space and a place where people have the opportunity to make money daily, weekly, monthly, while they are waiting for their first, second, or third carrier.
You mentioned about lead generation and cold calling. And quite frankly, I know cold calling is something that so many people are afraid to do.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about that and that angle of it.
All right. So for 27 years, I was in customer service sales, and I ultimately became a trainer there. So I was the one creating the SOPs. I was the one looking over old information, saying what is working now versus what is working back then. So my job was basically to make sure that everyone who hit the sales customer service floor was successful and operated in a space in a manner where the tools that they had were effective. So it's already something that's naturally in me. So I implemented that there, made those people a lot of money, and I implemented it here. So cold calling is one of the things that any business hates to do.
Yes.
I love cold calling. But I realize it's because everybody doesn't have people skills and everybody doesn't know what to say. And when you're in this space, especially in the dispatching space, and you work somewhere, but you never kind of got in a space of leadership, it's going to be challenging because many of us, when we started, or when you work for a company, they have some sort of script, some sort of something that will assist you. But when you're on your own and you're trying to move and you're trying to create a space for yourself here, there's some things that you need. So in that is where I pretty much shined in all of the Facebook groups and all of that. So I actually created an ebook. It's called My Homeboy Said. Now, the title is quite urban, okay? However, it is very effective because in there I have what you need to say, what you need to ask, how you need to do it, and scenarios that I have experienced. So when you are new and because we know now that many of the new carriers are in the same spaces as we are. There was a time that it was private and it was exclusive, not anymore. So now you have people like, how long have you been in business? Well, what do you know how to do? And are you well, why should I? So I address these things because there's a lot of people who don't know how to rebuttal. So this ebook is a place to help you find your own leads, because there's a lot of scheming and scamming out there talking about selling. So I show you how to find your own with the steps. I tell you what to say and what to ask when you're interviewing a carrier, because the interview process is extremely important.
And that's the reason why, that's the reason why people are so afraid of cold calling.
Yes.
Have no idea what to say.
Yes, and many of us forget that we are business owners. And I talk a lot about not operating in a space of desperation. We are still the business owner. If I contact you from a cold calling and you say, yes, I need a dispatcher, and I say, okay, all right, because a lot of us we done invested this money, we're not making any money, we don't know what to do. So we are like, okay, all right, I can help you, I can dispatch you. Oh no, this book tells you to ask them, congratulate them on getting their authority. All right, what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go? Or do you want to be home every weekend? If these things that they respond to you don't align with what you want to do, you do not take them on. And this book was birthed because I would see a lot of that in these groups. Like, oh, I took this carrier on and they don't want to work. They don't ever go out. They keep calling me or telling me that they don't want that, or they want me to find them a load, contact them, see if they want it. And then I had to give the reality. That's not how this works. And if you do the interview process properly, which this book will help you, you won't run into those problems because you've already asked the questions and you already, even down, I talked to about how to let them know that it's not going to be you. Hey, this interview was good at this time for your specific situation.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I don't have the capacity on opening right now. However, I will shop your information to my network. And if there's someone that will be able to assist you in the way that you need, I'll definitely give them your information and they'll give you a call.
You're over here dropping gems already. I hope y'all was taking notes.
So these are, going back to how we started this, when I asked who I serve, how can I make a difference? Let what you poured into me go through and find who needs that.
Yes.
And that's where I am. And there was a lot of, even when I got started, the gatekeeping was real. Okay. Nobody wanted to tell you anything. Nobody. Oh, and don't let them find out that you know a little bit of something. Oh, you're blocked. Or I'm not a gatekeeper. For the last 3 years, I have given so much free that I've gotten to the point where I had got to pouring from an empty cup. Okay.
And that's not good at all.
No, it was my desire that everybody succeed. And, oh, the scamming is real. I don't want my people to continue to go through this. But then reality sets in. And you discover and you find that there are doers and there are those that just come to take. And if it is not quick, they're not going to they're not going to move. Yeah. So this ebook, I get a little spirited. It shows you these things. So it helps prevent you from getting in certain situations that is quite popular. Yeah. So yeah, you want to get that for yourself. You want to have it on your shelf.
Right. One of the things that I really noticed about people is that your mindset is so important. The type of mindset that you have around a thing or about a thing, even the type of mindset that you have towards your clients and towards the people that are in the same space that you're working in is so important because it governs how you show up and how you speak to people and, what you do or don't do or what you say or don't say, and so if you're not in the right mind space or if you don't have the right mindset, then it could go left or it could really go in a direction that is not beneficial to both parties, right? And so that pouring from an empty cup thing is so real. It's so real. As women, we have multiple roles in life and, business, and then there's family, and then there's spouse, and so there's so many different things pulling at you and you're trying to be all these different things. And you're not
gonna lack
yourself, and you're just like, oh,
yes,
this is.
I'm so glad you said that. So another one of the set aparts that I focus on when working with people in this space is I go head on into the mental, into the reality. Yeah. Because one thing about what we do, if you're doing it how it's supposed to be done, the glitz and glam of this is not happening. So when we enter into, especially this space, you're gonna see oh, look at me, oh, take my course, oh, I'm contacting you from a business trip, oh, look at my new mansion that I just got, oh, look at my chandeliers. You can be successful and make hundreds and thousands of dollars without ever owning or driving a truck. And one thing about everybody has a gift. How you choose to use it or pimp it is yours, because free will is not taken away.
That's true.
Because you decide, So when I started a group. I have a notebook. There was almost 1,000 people that I have in this notebook that I had to teach how to run their business. And they had taken courses from 2 of the biggest names, African-American course providers in this industry.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I was just me, my own research. This is what I know. These people had paid upwards of $3,000 only to find out that,
Hey, I know you guys are enjoying the episode, but if you haven't liked this video, please take a moment to stop, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can get more gems dropped on your timeline. Let's get back to the show.
hey, I've been servicing this carrier for a month and I haven't got paid. How do I get paid? Excuse me? You paid how much? So I have these people in their emails. And this is why when we talk about divine appointments, there was a time that I was going to reach out to these people and ask them, hey, do you need someone to teach these people? But that wasn't the call or the direction that I was supposed to go in. So I talk to people and I tell them, hey, this is the reality. First thing, this is not a snatch and grab. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy. Okay. Another point that's pushed is, oh, you'll work from home. You have so much time with your family. If you're operating this business like you should, you'll be in the same four walls, but you will not be with your family. And this is what we have to know.
True.
Your relationship. Okay. As you grow your business, your family needs to go and grow with you. Because yes, when you start off, you're going to get somebody and it's not going to be moving. So you're going to be working a little banker's hours, 9 to 5, you know, especially if you're working with a box truck, you know, if you haven't found anything for them by 10 a.m., they're more than likely not moving that day. So guess what? The family is used to you knocking off and cooking and doing the things. Then when things begin to pick up, we're not spending as much time. You know what? Y'all go ahead and go. All right, just bring me something back. Now it's causing discord because what we used to do is not happening. Okay. When I say grow with them, hey, y'all know what? This is what was happening in my business. Now things are beginning to pick up. So I won't be able to do A, B, C, and D. There's an understanding.
Yeah, that needs
all right. Relationship.
It's so important.
If your relationship is not solid, this is not going to help you.
Girl, let me tell you something.
Okay? If you have a spouse that has insecurity, issues in any type of way, when it comes to you all, this is going to be the make or break. Because you literally have to be available for someone else 24 hours a day.
It's true.
You actually have to look at this like a polygamous relationship.
Wow, I've never heard it put that way before.
My spouse, what they need, I have to give this man, woman, boy, girl, whomever it is, all that they need when it's their time, and my children and yourself.
Yes.
If you don't know how to be every woman, if you are a woman, this is definitely going to step your game up.
Girl, so how do you manage?
So for me, this is what I had to do for my husband specifically. Okay. When I first got started, again, the banker's hours. Oh, he's going to work. I'm working when he comes home. Can we be real? You know, I'm not going to get too far away, but you're going to pick up what I'm putting down. I got dinner done. You know, I got my marriage ministry outfits on.
Yes.
You know, the mood, everything is well. Now, when you get home, hey, there's some leftovers in there, heat them up the shelf. I'll be to bed when I get to bed.
Hey, hold on now. Wait a minute.
In there, because what the perception is, oh, she started her own business. Oh, she has more energy because, you know, dinner is done. Oh, the mood is right on.
I like this.
Yes. But when it begins to change, it's like, okay, now the phone is ringing. You know, when I got started, you know, Amazon was better. It's not what it is now. So now they got to call me. At this time, Amazon did not have the automation. It had, if something went on, Amazon had to call the dispatcher. Dispatcher had to communicate to the carrier. So now I got to answer the phone 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
The side eye is real. What? Who do you need? I'm laying right here. Okay. Who do you need to speak to at this time?
Wait a minute.
All right. So the tension begins to build. What I did with mine, okay? I have a chair in my office. I started calling my husband Linus. Okay. When that phone rang, I would say, get the blanket. come on down to my office and sit here, because you need to see what is happening when I get up and I leave out of this bedroom, because if you don't set that right, it looks like, who's she going to, I'll call you back. It starts to look, we want to shun the very appearance. Okay. So it begins to look a certain way. So I brought him in the morning. Hey, I'm getting started. It's your day off. Come down here and sit and listen to what I do. Hey, it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what's happening. Hey, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Get up. He did the exact same steps as me. Honey, after about 4 or 5 times, that last time that phone ring, he said, hey, your other man calling. You can take that on downstairs. But you will have to find the way, but you have to grow your family with you. They don't particularly have to be interested in what you do, but if there's an understanding.
Yes.
And this is a one of the things. Also, when it comes to mentality, failure. Anybody who has watched me over time, I have shared it all. Up, down, in between. The reason for that is you need to see the reality of this.
It's true.
Because when you're sitting, we are solo. We don't have no coworkers.
Nobody.
We don't have anyone. That's why I created a space on Patreon for that. However, we don't have that. So when you're doing what they're saying and what they're showing and you're failing, depression begins to set in. I must be a failure. I must not be doing it right begins to set in. No, failure is your best friend. So when I come on and I say, I haven't made money in 6 months, okay? When I come on and I say, hey, it was hard, but I had to let my carrier go. When I have to tell you that, because even though you're going to feel how you feel about it when it happens, you were prepared. You will be able to say, oh man, she told me that this was going to happen. She told me that it doesn't feel good, but she also told and showed me that I'm going to come out on the other side.
Exactly.
It's testimonial. I believe that what I do is a ministry, because all of these things that I share and talk about is testimony, and I'm not going to get too deep in it, but I read a good book, a good one. They call it the Bible. And down there in the Revelations, I'm not going to be a thumper or nothing like that. It says, that the others are going to overcome by the words of our testimony.
Yes.
And testimony is not always, and I say that I'm not going to go into Bible thumping, because there are people who don't believe in that space, but they operate in the principles.
Right. And they're succeeding because.
Can we talk about it?
Okay. So
they operate in the principle.
Yes.
Okay. And we have to be that for one another.
It's true.
Because if I want to be something and I want to get somewhere, I got to be able to see it.
It's so true.
Because even when it's a thought,
we
have to write the vision.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You got to write it down, because sometimes you miss out on some details. And then when you write it down and you can actually see it, then someone else can come, and that's what it says, so that the others can see it and then run with it.
All right. Disney, and it doesn't, and while we're here, you all,
it
doesn't matter if the thought doesn't make sense. Write it anyway. Write it anyway, because what happens is, in whatever space you believe in, when you write it, there's an accountability that comes with writing. I know we have our phones. I know we have our computers. I know we have, but there's something about putting pen to paper that brings that thing to life.
Wow.
And then when that life comes, put a date on it.
Yes.
Because what you're saying to yourself and what you believe in is, I will write this down. And even if the time is not right now and I have to move this date, I'm watching this and I'm looking at it daily.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this, or I've placed it in my Bible, or I've placed it in wherever it is I need for it to manifest. I've placed it there, and don't leave it. Don't let it collect dust, because that's how we have so many people in the grave that laid down with what we needed.
Exactly. And that is such a key to, like, really put it out there, keep it in front of your face. Don't neglect to look at it, to be with it, because then it gets into your subconscious mind. It gets into you and becomes a part of you. Correct. And now it's almost like you automatically start to shift from where you were, and now you're kind of taking the steps, and it's steps. It's not leaps. Like it's not like boom and here we are. It's like gradual, real gradual. It's just like when you're growing your hair out, and and like you do the big chop, and then you might twist it today, or you might do something else with it, but you're taking care of it, and you're nourishing it, and you're drinking water, and you're doing all the things. Then eventually, over time, after a year, after 2 years, there you go.
Yes.
This is growing.
Look back over. Correct. And that becomes something that's yours.
Yes.
Because you can take, even with that example, you get heat damage. You big chop again. You already know what can be done. You have already learned the lesson. You can teach it. You can write an ebook. You can write a book. You know that you're going to come out.
Yeah.
The lesson was learned.
Yeah. That's so true. And that's how growth happens. That's what life literally is all about. It's all about the process of getting somewhere. It's all about the step by step, the gradual, as you go along, the one foot in front of the other. And that's how faith is built up. Like if we continue with the one step in front of the other, and we don't quit, and we don't give up, throw our hands up and be like, you know what, this ain't, granted, sometimes you will feel, like you said, you will feel like giving up sometimes, but it's so important to really keep your why. Your why has to be strong,
ever present,
and ever present. And you have to just understand that, all right, this feels not good, but I'm going to have to push through this somehow, because none of this is by accident. I believe I'm here for a reason. I believe these people that I'm here to serve need what I have. So like, I can't give up,
That's right.
And to your point about journaling, like I have journals from like years ago. I look back on before I was married, and I would write about, all these things that I wanted in my future. And I look back and I'm just like, wow, God has been faithful.
Yes, he has.
And I can't even, and even when you feel like being ungrateful, or you feel like, man, I'm a failure, nothing is working out, pull some of them books out, pull some of them old journals out and start reading, and you will see how important and how far you've actually come.
That's right.
Because sometimes in your face, it feels like you're not moving. It feels like you're the same place that you were 25 years ago, and you're not.
You're not. And you have to be grateful for your small wins.
Yes, yes.
Don't count them out or anything like that. And you also self-reflect. Because sometimes in that failure, you have to look back and you have to say, you know what? And this thing is personal to me, okay? When I came on the scene, before I hit the floor, I was in prayer. Before I laid down, before I made any move. And somewhere I just got up and started coming. I just got up and started moving. And at some point I'll be like, oh, I didn't pray. Let me give you a couple seconds. Oh, I didn't whatever you do. Oh, I didn't do my yoga. Oh, I didn't meditate. Whatever it is you do, you have to look before you start. This is hard to do. But before you start to say, man, what is happening? Why is it not going? Reflect.
Yes.
What was I doing when things were thriving? What was I doing when things were good? Because it happens to the best of us.
It's so true.
It happens. You start to live good. You're able to pay your bills on time. You're able to go on trips. And the better you're doing, the less
you feel like you need them.
Yeah, we
need them.
Girl,
let me tell you something.
In all things.
And it's so interesting because, I have these interviews set up, and the first one that I was doing for this year, it was just thing after thing. And listen, I had to pause. And the interesting thing about it is that, God told me before I started recording again this year, he said that I need to, acknowledge him and bless the guest, and just commit the whole conversation, the interview, everything to him, and he will, and I haven't included it so far, like in the editing and everything. In all honesty, I haven't included that part in the in like the actual show, but because I'm like, for whatever reason. But then God spoke to me and was like, well, yes, you committed it to me, but then if nobody knows, then what's the point?
Obedience
So
is
I'm
better
like,
than
you know what,
sacrifice.
God, this is all about you anyway. I'm not even going to sit here and try to act like that I'm here on my own, or like I literally
That's
can't
right.
do without you. And you know, in the trucking industry, the way how things are, and in any industry, but specifically in trucking, there are so many ups and downs. There are so many different things that you will face if you have a truck, if you don't have a truck, if you have to deal with the people or deal with the equipment, deal with the drivers, deal with the warehousing, deal with the product, deal with the brokers. You need to have that. You need to have someone. You need to have God. You need to have something on the inside of you to
You are
help
on my
you
street, pulling up my driveway.
deal with all of this.
So in the beginning of the year, I have not been live this year. I had all of these plans and what I was going to do. The first week of January, death. Second week, death.
Oh my God.
Third week, death. All these people close to me,
Oh my God.
related to me, then close to me. So I said, okay, all right, February. All right, February, be good to me. Boom, death again. So then I started to say, I need you to tell me why death is in my face like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized I had a death of some relationships, real, live people. Death of the way I'm operating and moving in this space.
Wow, that's powerful.
And death of self. You can't move without me. You can't speak without me. You cannot do anything without me. Seek ye first
The kingdom, okay? And all things.
And all
will just be added.
I can't add if you won't acknowledge me, if you don't see me, if you can't move in me. I was working. I have never been approached about a podcast. I have been beat down. So there's a lot of people who are more popular who swear they don't know who I am. They never heard of me, they never seen me, but you speak the things directly out your mouth that I say out of mine. Okay. Right. I had somebody that I thought I was going to connect with. They didn't teach, they just did, other things, but now they teach. But I found through the people who watch, they'll be like, hey, isn't this who you told us was good? Isn't this what they so I found that everything that I would come on and say, their content would directly rebuttal it. And sometimes we think we're linking up and we getting close to believers. We finding our people.
Yeah.
But there are times that we start to see that the keep your enemy close is real.
That's so true.
And I also I used to, I have these times sometimes when I'm on live, he be moving and I be like, whoa, this is not the audience. This is not the time. You kind of want to be in this space of, you don't want to offend and you don't want to lose, but then you have to say, hey, what's for me is for me.
Exactly.
Obedience is definitely better than sacrifice.
100%. That's
because
so true.
If I don't acknowledge who I am and whom I serve,
the source,
I'm not going to have anything. That's right. Exactly. And I have committed to being a willing resource.
Exactly.
But I got to be connected to the source.
That's so true.
And I started realizing this is why you are depleted. This is why, it has gotten stagnant in this area. This is why, certain things are not moving and not happening. So since I've been sitting still, I said, I need you to remove. Well, you got to be careful when you get to asking. I need you to remove anything that should not be connected to me and that cannot go where you're sending me. When I tell you I'm down to a handful minus, but they are faithful.
Right.
They are ready. They are willing. And I can see now. This is my second time asking. When I first hit the scene, I was viral. Every day, every week, I was viral. Then I started to say, hey, Bible don't break no money. It
Mhm.
brings some use, but it don't bring you no tithe and offering. Okay.
Right.
So I started saying, hey, I need that to cease. And who needs to see me? I need them to see, and I need to see them. It
Mhm.
happened. Then I'm not sure where I went left, but baby, straight and narrow. If
Mhm.
I don't hear from him, if I don't hear about him, if I lay it at his feet and he doesn't have anything to say about it in a certain time, I
Mhm.
leave that right there and I go away. If he wants me to have it, if he wants me to be it, if he wants me to see it, if he wants me to be seen, he is going to bring who it is that I need, and they are not coming to take from me. They're coming to
Exactly.
join with me, or they're
Mhm.
coming to bring me up. I realize and I know and I understand that we need each other.
It's so true.
There's no millionaire that got there from off $10,000 status.
No.
Something had to happen. Somebody had to come by. Somebody had to tell me something. We had to connect on some type of space because I can't get it all. I don't want it all. And I don't want to be lonely at the top.
And quite frankly, there's more than enough. The way how God set this whole earth up, like there's
Ooh,
literally more than enough. And the reason why we find ourselves in the dry spaces that we sometimes find ourselves in is because, Eve had
mhm.
a wrong focus. She walked past all of the abundance. She walked past the mango tree, the orange trees, the apple trees, the peach trees, the pineapples, the blueberries, the strawberries, the raspberries to go to the one tree.
The one.
The one, the one tree that God told her not to. And so we have to be careful
Very.
in our lives, as business owners, as as human beings, as people, as women, to not sacrifice all of the abundance around us
Mm-hmm.
just to because of wrong focus. We have to focus on the right thing.
That's right.
And even because if our eyes are looking, that's why we're not even supposed to be walking by sight. We're supposed to be walking by faith
Hey,
anyway. Okay, so let's just put that out. Let's just lay that where it is. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, we are looking at the wrong things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We have no business looking at certain things and then missing all of the other opportunities that are literally right there. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And so it's so important for us. May God forgive us. May God forgive me. Because I know sometimes
As
you
well.
get
Me
caught
as well.
up in, what's going on and what other people are doing. And at the end of the day, it really is not about what everybody else is doing. It's about what I was put. What were you put here to do?
That's right.
Each and every one of us, as you mentioned earlier, each and every one of us, we literally have a gift that God put in us at birth that this world needs. Like people need whatever gift we have on the inside of
That's
us.
right.
People in this day and age, at this particular point in time, need that.
They do.
And I love the fact that you said that what you do in this trucking space is a ministry and is attached, is connected to your gift. Because I feel that there are a lot of women out there who may be listening to this that have gifts on the inside of them that need to come into the trucking industry to serve this industry and the people in it. Because there's so many areas where I feel is so lacking and is so like neglected. And I feel like truck drivers are so underrated and underappreciated and undervalued in our society. And it's really sad. It's upsetting. My husband is a truck driver, and just the general attitude of people in this society, from what I've observed, right, is very dismissive of truck drivers. And they just don't value that. They want to get the trucks off the street. They don't want them parking anywhere. They don't want them idling. They don't want now, okay, I get it. The environment is important and all of that, but sweetheart, you would not have your medication. You would not have the food on the shelf in the store. You wouldn't have the bed that you're sleeping in. You wouldn't have the house that you live in right now if it was not for a truck driver. The bricks came on the truck. The lumber that they used to put in the walls came on the truck. The drywall came on the truck. The flooring came on the truck. Your toilet came on the truck. The food that you're eating came, every every single thing that people can put their eyes on has come on a truck. And the clothes that you're wearing came on a truck.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
I feel like as a society in America, and excuse me for ranting.
Listen, we have to talk about this thing, but because it's a reality.
Yes.
And these are the things that we have to talk about. And this is one of the things that I am so serious about. Even in my course, I have had a lot of truck drivers to take my course, and they get it. They come back and they're like, "You the truth." These people are my family. This is one thing that I tell people. You think you come into this for your percentage or because I want to be an entrepreneur, but let me tell you something. These people become your family. And when they become your family, you're going to be surprised, because once you start working with somebody every day, all the time, you get to knowing their personality, their habits. A lot of these dispatchers, I'll stick with, they have never met their carriers. One of the things that I tell my students, you'll find that I'm not really big on titles, my partners,
right,
is you are the dispatcher. Route them to you. Route them to you. If my carriers are out of New Jersey and they want to come south, southeast, route them to Georgia. I'm going to meet you at the truck stop. I want you to know this is who is taking care of you.
That's so cool.
I also tell them, value them. You are the person that brings them from their home, and you're the person that gets them back. When you begin to develop this relationship with these people, it is going to become something that you value and that you look for. You're going to know their tone of voice when you start talking to them. Hey, what happened? No, I'm all right. No, when we speak, you're normally, they'll tell you, I was at the truck, I was at the warehouse. They wouldn't let me use the bathroom. They wouldn't let, because we need to know. Because when I talk to that broker again, I'm going to say, hey, we're not sending my people over to so-and-so, such and such, because they don't know how to act.
Take care of them.
And I also tell them, this one is one that is a reality for people. Are you prepared for all aspects of this dispatching thing? Are you prepared for someone to become your family? And when you answer the phone, it's them. What's going on, guy? And hey, this is Officer such and such. Now, mind you, you got yourself, you got your family, you got your kids, are you prepared to handle what needs to be handled concerning them before you cry, before you break down, before you lose yourself? This is important. It's not about a percentage.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not about any of that. This is about lives and lives. The lives of those who are moving these trucks to, guess what? Comfort our lives.
Yes.
Our hair weaves, our glasses, our furniture. This is about life and life. Do you want to live your life good and purchase the things that you want? If you do, treat the life of the person that's going to provide that service for you in the same excellence that you want for yourself. And guess what? That is a principle, because we need one another.
It's so true.
And we have to do right by one another.
Yes.
We have to treat everyone the way that we want to be treated.
Yes.
Everyone, from the janitor, to the president. Because the only difference in some of these things is you got more zeros in your account than I do.
That's it.
But the one that I serve is no respecter of persons.
Exactly. And it all belongs to him anyway.
That's right. And if I remember that and keep that at the forefront at all times, I'm going to be all right.
Exactly.
Because when I get where it is that I'm going, all right, and when Peter and them let me in, or whoever it is up there, I need my well done.
Okay.
I don't want to hear, I know you not.
I don't want to hear no foolishness.
Because I have to answer for everything that I do.
Exactly.
I don't care if the beggar is asking me for $10 for some food and they go get them a beer. What they asked me for, what was in my heart, and who I serve said give it. They got to answer to why they didn't get them something to eat. I don't.
Right, exactly.
And if you get that, if you remember that, I want somebody to treat me right. I want somebody to do right by my husband, by my wife. If you remember these things, you're going to be fine. And I tell them, are you prepared? And they're like, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't see it, because this is my separation. I need for you to know all that this entails. And the percentage is the least. Are you ready to stay up all night? Okay. Are you ready to go back to the time where you was having babies and your mother's ear was open and you could hear anything? There was no sleep too hard that you didn't hear the whimper. That's how you got to be with that phone. That's how you got to be. And then I started telling them, hey, you got to treat your carrier like your baby. When they're up and moving, you need to be up and moving. Because you are their carrier. They're called the carrier, but you carry the weight of their aggravation. You carry the weight of who's going to contact, who's going to move, the truck broke down, who's going to make contact, how we going to tell the broker, who's going to get cussed out. You carry that. And when I was on those people's job, when I worked in retention at Comcast, and every single phone call was somebody cussing me out, it prepared me for the broker acting a donkey. Okay? When I was taking all those customer service calls and I was asking, are you okay? And I was listening to people on the other line who was calling me when I was working at Sears, who didn't want nothing. They was just operating in a space of depression. And I was able to talk them off the ledge, okay, because they just needed a listening ear. That prepared me for the ministry that I'm walking into now.
Wow.
Okay? When I was taking the city bus and people didn't want to give me a ride and people didn't want to believe in me and want to offer me anything or didn't think that I deserved it, that prepared me for the time that I am the provider of information and provider of service, and I can give it to and I can discern. Because in these things, I had to give thanks. In these things, I had to come out of. In these things, I had to get fixed skin, but not a hardened heart.
Exactly.
It's real out here, and it's so much more than your percentage. And when people take my course, I had these people say, this is set up like you working at a job. I want you to be a business person. When you come in here, honey, you might talk, you might use your ethnic vernacular. However, when you complete this course, you're going to be speaking to somebody at a level of professionalism that is needed. Because can we be real again? A lot of the people who are getting trucks, who are getting into this industry, they come from the street.
And
they don't feel that they speak properly enough to speak to a broker. You're speaking on their behalf. If I talk like do what I'm saying though, and you speak and who's representing the company? How are we going to get what we need to have if neither of us can do what needs to be done?
Right.
Representative. Yes, you own your own business. Yes, you are doing what needs to be done. But the only people who know that is you and the person that you are in the contractual agreement with. But when you go into a contractual agreement with ABC Transportation, guess what? EmmTeeNest Logistics, the brokers don't know me. Hey, this is Marian giving you a call with ABC Transportation. I'm calling on the load that you have from. Okay, everything that I do, come on, dispatcher, represents this company. You are the make and break. You make the money, you make the deals, you make decisions, you make or break that business.
That's why it's so important
about this thing, because it's real to us. And it takes a special kind of person and people to step into here.
It's so true.
If you are chasing money, then you need to go and clock in. That's your guarantee.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So it is so many important points in everything that you said, because like thinking about people's lives and the fact that they're human beings and they deserve the respect. Like they're sacrificing time away from their family, and they might have spent thousands of dollars on their equipment to like be in an owner operator situation, if that's their situation, and so I really feel like society at large, a lot of people just don't understand that part of it,
And here's another thing. Truck driving is a more dangerous occupation than a police officer.
It is.
They risk life and death every time they move that truck. See, an officer, you risk it when you get a call. Okay? And even then, there's a heads up. Hey, there's a robbery going on at A, B, C, and D. Hey, there's a murder. They know what they're going into. So guess what? They get to prepare their mind. Our drivers, they're looking at their map. They see that the road is clear. This is the perception when they begin. But their reality doesn't happen until the reality is happening. There's no heads up.
That's true.
There's no, other than the subtle things, it's going to be snowing.
Right.
It's going to be 5 o'clock traffic. But you know what I'm saying. You all understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The reality of their situation is not happening until it's happening. Tires roll off.
Girl.
And hit and kill. There's no preparation.
No. Yeah.
They don't have any idea what they're going to get into from cranking up that truck each time. That's why it is our responsibility to make sure that everything that you can do to protect them, other than an act of God, gets them home.
Yep.
Get them home. If you want to rile me up, this is the one thing I don't really get rattled by too much. But when I see somebody who booked a carrier a load in a space they had no business, and the driver is calling and cussing and leaving voicemails, and you don't answer them. You mean to tell me you took somebody from their family and you didn't try to bring them back? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. The decision was yours. They trusted you. Because let me tell you something. We are their person. Everything that they have is in us. They trust that you're going to find them the right thing. They trust that you're not going to send them. This is one of the things that I do too. I am one, and y'all can take this with y'all. When you're looking for some place for your carrier to go, you get yourself on Google and you get yourself a map. For my Black and brown people, you better make sure, dispatchers, that they are not in a sundown town.
For those who don't know, just what is a sundown town?
A sundown town is a place that still operates in this day and age, where if you are melanated, you better not be caught there after the sun goes down. Okay? Another thing about these places is they are the most beautiful, peaceful, the food is good, the shopping is good type places in the daytime. And they're going to meet you and greet you and sell you, and all will be well in that daytime. But those people are at home at night. And here's another thing about those towns. Nobody ever saw you, because that is the town. That is the mentality. That is the way. And when I talk about safety of our carriers, you don't just get to sit here and book a load. There are things that you have to do. You need to look for that. You need to look for weather. You need to look for a way out. Are they going to be able to get out? There's so much not being said, not being taught. There's all of this equipment based. Oh, get you 5 carriers with dry vans and refrigerators, and that's going to make you, this amount a week, and you're going to be $100,000.
It's deeper than that.
They get
so much deeper.
Right. It's so much deeper. That's why this is a ministry. If you are looking for money and you think that you're just going to book loads, this is not for you. If you don't want to continue to educate yourself, this is not going to be for you, because as their person, you have to look out for all of the things. I read on the DAT every morning. I look through the news. If there's anything that I need for them to know, I send them a little highlight. Hey, this is what's happening. These are the new things at the FMCSA. If you want to read more, here's the link. I give them what they need, short and sweet. I want them to know that it's not just about you paying me weekly.
Right.
I want you to know that I care that your wife bakes cakes. That's why I buy them from her at Christmas. I want you to know that I know that the third week of every other month, you need to be home, because that's when it's Pee Wee ball. I'm reminding you, hey, I'm bringing you on home. You need to know, because again, there has to be a passion.
Yes.
And if you don't have passion for people and compassion, this is not for you. If you are chasing a dollar, there's plenty entrepreneurial situations out here for you, and a clock in.
Yes.
But in this particular industry, in this particular space, it takes a certain kind of person.
Whew. Yes, it surely does. It surely does. Wow. Um, I am curious to know because of everything that you said, what was growing up like for you? Because you're so focused and super like passionate about what you're in. And I can tell that, you know, the level of excellence that you operate in. So what was growing up like for you?
Hard, 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 hard. I come from, my mom had 11 kids.
Wow, okay.
So I have 5 sisters and 5 brothers.
Mm.
So
Where were you in the mix?
I'm the third oldest, the first girl.
Okay, okay.
So, of course, the raising of all of them behind me and the raising of the two before me. Because those two, my mom, and we're born 75, 74, 73. So we're born back to back. So my oldest brother, he's born in 73. My mom had him, sent him to my grandmother in New Jersey. Right the next year, 74, my mom had him, sent him. Had me, sent me. My grandmama sent me back. Said, baby, you need something else to do. Because, baby, this back to back ain't happening. So my brother after me, he's 2.5, almost 3 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember this one, my mom always worked. We never saw a man. Okay. And we're gonna leave that where it is because y'all
Okay.
we don't want to get therapeutic on it.
Okay.
But I can remember this one gets 2 scoops of Similac. This is the water. This is I can remember the instructions.
Mm.
So having to nurture, but not be nurtured, does something to you.
Mm.
And it gets you into a protection mode that can be unhealthy if you don't see about yourself.
Right.
And that's where it came from. When you have experienced neglect,
Mm-hmm.
and seen it done, and you are the one that knows how somebody moves. Like I know that my brother after me, we'll use examples because we're not into incriminating anyone.
Right, right.
If I know that my brother is one that all you have to do is have a conversation, he's not gonna do it no more, I'm gonna know that. I'm gonna know that beating him all day, every day is not gonna change because that's not what he needs.
Right.
So that is how I was with my siblings, and I became very protective of them, like they were mine, because I was the one. And I have that same sort of thing when it comes to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I am very serious about the interview process. I don't subscribe to teaching you a course and giving you a carrier, because I need for you to do I feel you? Do I vibe with you? Do you move how I need you to move? Do you? We have to make that, because I know what I'm going to have to give to you, and I'm not just giving that to anybody.
Right, because that's precious.
So that's right. So I had that, but I've always had this people thing, and it's always been passionate. And when you live like that, like when you don't know what is going to happen next, when you don't know when the eviction is going to be on the door, when you don't know, literally what's going to be happening from one day to the next, and you're also living with someone who cannot see the error of their ways, in any capacity. There's things that develop you faster, but there's also a failure to thrive. Because when you are put in a situation where you should be going through ages and stages, but you don't get those because Pampers need to be changed, need to be walked to school, need to be doing homework. So the things that you're giving to them, you didn't get them.
Right.
So you start to hold on to things, and you learn about yourself earlier and things earlier than you should. And once your mind, like Eve, is open up to things, you can't take it back. You can't unsee.
Right. Which is, yeah.
So I'm thankful that the passion and the heart for people never left. I'm thankful for struggle.
Right.
Because struggle builds character.
Yes, it does.
And learn how to maneuver in a space with $0. So you can't, I've had people come to me, you can't throw money at it for me. What you doing for the people? And how is this going to operate and how it's going to move? And is this beneficial to more than just you?
Right.
Now you can keep it. Yeah, but you're struggling in your business, and that's all right. That's all right, because integrity is everything.
Yes.
What you attach your name and your gift to is everything. You're not going to pimp me.
Exactly.
Okay? Because when you come from a space like that, there's certain things that you're just not going to deal with. You're just not going to tolerate. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. And when I say failure to thrive, I've had a lot of times where I've been taken advantage of because people can see your heart. People can see what you do, what you're doing and how you do it. And this is why, you know how they say that the enemy can quote the Bible. Again, y'all, we're not going to thump on it. We just going to use it as an example.
Okay. Hey, I know you guys are enjoying the episode, but if you haven't liked this video, please take a moment to stop, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can get more gems dropped on your timeline. Let's get back to the show.
Everybody has a gift.
Yes.
We decide how we're going to use it. There are those who can see what is for me and where I'm going and what's going to happen when I get there. And that jealousy and that foresight that they have, because it's still a gift, whether you're using it for good or not. And they're going to try to derail you. They're going to try to either attach themselves or try to be in every direction to throw you off. And it can work. It can work, especially if you're not strong in what you believe in, what you're walking in, who you believe in, because you begin to see what they are putting in front of you instead of what you start to see with the wrong vision. You're not walking in faith. You're walking in the reality that somebody gave you. I'm sorry, it was hard. I'm gonna wrap that up. But it prepared me.
Right. So it was hard, but it was it was beneficial.
It was very beneficial
to get you to where you were supposed to be. Kind of like Joseph and David had to go through a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yes.
Before they can get to where they're to the place where they're
right. And
saving the country.
Yeah, I used to have some. What have I done? I haven't even lived long enough. This cannot be real. How am I taking on so much that's not mine? And it keeps.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you where do you find how do you deal with that? Because you said you mentioned something when you were talking that you'll end up losing yourself if you're not mindful or if you're not careful. So
one thing that I always had the sense to say was keep my mind. Do not let this situation take my mind. I always said those words. Even when I didn't know what they meant. And as I got older and understanding, I started saying, help me see the lesson.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. Sometimes it was, help me see the lesson. And sometimes it was like, help me see the lesson. Because
this?
Let me tell you something. It's like, let me tell you something. I'm trying to, I'm trying to seek you. But listen here, you sure that Gary that I met at the grocery store wasn't the help that you were sending me? You sure that Charles, that I met down to the gas station, that ain't the help?
No, he wasn't. I'm just wondering because it seemed real helpful at the time.
It was on time, and it had the look that I had requested as well. You sure? So it was those things. Yes. And I won't sit here and be like, oh, I just said it, and my mind was kept. No. Because there were times where I was hanging off the cliff, and one flip-flop had already fell off the side. Girl. I don't want you to get it twisted and feel like, oh, she said those words and something magical happened. Because you hear me? My source, he knows me. He knows there are lessons that he can be swift, and he knows that if I give her this one too fast, we're gonna revisit this. So she got to wear it, and I got somewhere for her to go. I got to let her get it. But I've had to be reminded plenty of times that my arms was too short to box with them. Because we rebel. Listen, y'all, I'm all the way real. I don't know any kind of way else to be. We rebel. Listen, we run. We get into spaces where we just like, you know what? This feels good. You know, trying to do right. That's cute, but that's cute, but I'm driving and it's wrong. And I just, even in my mess,
God is so faithful.
Even in my mess, there was ministry.
Yes.
And I would be like, this is awkward. Like, I just, sir, I know that we fresh up off the fornication bed. All right. Don't look at me crazy. But do you know I'm in a pardon of your sins? I know what just popped off. You hear me? I know we were swinging from the ceiling fan, but before I leave this room, I just got to know for my own, just because when there's a call.
You're so true. It's unrepentant. The call of God in the midst, it's unrepentant.
Come on. And I had to do, and I still go through. I still, listen, y'all, we don't get away from going through.
Okay.
We don't.
With the daily dealings with any relationship, the relationship with your kids, the relationship with your spouse, sometimes. Okay. I have to be like, God, that's your son.
You hear me?
Okay. I'm going to leave him to you. Because if okay.
Yeah, when I get in self, this is mine. I say,
this ain't going.
I know we didn't grow up in the same house. I know we didn't grow up in the same environment. You have to get that reminder on.
Yes, it's so true.
But yeah, that really, really helped me. And it helped me to see people without judgment.
Yes.
Because when you got 11, when you have 10 people, 10 personalities, 10 feelings at any kind of time, you learn to see what that is. You begin to hear without your ears.
Yeah.
Because I can hear what your mouth is saying, but I can feel and see what you're not
spirit.
saying. That's right.
Because we're
that's right. And that's what I have to address. Yeah. And that's why I get in these spaces sometimes when I be live and I be like,
I'll be seeing the struggles.
See all these unbelievers on here. I cannot be on this. This is supposed to be about the trucking industry.
Well, listen.
I need to rolling and turning and move. But what happens is I let it. And those same people are the ones that's like, I'm not even interested in what you're talking about here. But it's your spirit. It's what you said. I needed it today. And I had to hop up out that disobedience because
that disobedience
I don't want to be the one
out
I don't want to be the piece to your puzzle
and land you up someplace you don't want to be.
You hear me? Or harboring something for a couple dollars. Them crumbs. I don't want the crumbs. I want to be involved in the feast.
Okay. I want the table. I want the table, the feast that's prepared in the presence.
I had to get there also. And like, I don't want to disrupt. I don't want to make enemies. And I don't want. And then I said, hey, I can't get no table prepared if I ain't got no enemies.
Okay.
So that's how the table get prepared.
In front of the enemies. They got to be people watching. What are we talking about here?
How's it going? Get ready to get your broom out because the feathers are about to be ruffled.
Okay.
The word ain't go. The word gonna go forth. It's not coming back null and void. Now,
first off,
you say it because the rocks ain't about the crowd for me.
Okay. And when Jesus was here, I mean, he had enemies. Them people ain't like him.
And he was bold. He would come and walk and stand in your face.
And his impact is still being felt today.
Come on now.
So he got a lot of followers. We out here chasing followers and stuff.
Look here.
What we talking about? They ain't like him, but it's all good. And I really do like, it's kind of a process. I'm really grateful for this conversation because, you know, God is not a respecter of persons. Like, and people are not who provide. God is the one who provides.
That's right.
He is the one who will give you the clients. He is the one who will send people your way, right? If we put him first, if we seek first the kingdom, like we mentioned earlier, then everything else will be added. So, you know, it's not a matter of me going out there trying to, you know, hustle up. I said, God, whoever you want me to talk to on this podcast, I just committed to you. You make it happen if it's supposed to happen.
I know that's right. And we have to be mindful about that too, because desperation causes us to seek something tangible. Because we need a feeling. We need, when we get in that space, that means we done set him to the side.
Oh, child, girl, let me tell you something. If there's one thing I know in my life, I cannot do without God. And I don't know how people live their life without Jesus, because some stuff be coming up in life sometimes, and you just be like, oh, Jesus, you're going to have to, you're going to have to help me.
Definitely have to come here. Where you at?
Okay. It's like, like just the thought of trying to navigate everyday relationships without God, or without, like, the relationship with my kids, you would beat them to a pulp. Like you be ready to, you know, if you don't have God and his grace to say patience, or, you know, to show them this or do that. And, you know, the Holy Spirit is so powerful and so it's like, I just want to flow with him. And that is so important, to be able to just be in that flow. And I'm not afraid, like, yes, this is a podcast about trucking, but listen, this is who I am. This is who we are. It's a ministry. You're right. This is my pulpit. I'm not standing up in church.
I had to learn that too. That the pulpit is not that wouldn't your
it's so true.
Pulpit is where you tell people about him.
Yes.
You give the gospel.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And he's going to give you the gospel in the way that the people need to receive it.
Yes. And they will receive it with open arms. And then it's not you. That's
right. You just vessel.
Anyway.
You in your obedience help them see his light. He'll take it from there.
Exactly.
You just do your part. Do what I require you to do.
Yep.
And I promise you, I'll take it from there.
Girl, listen.
I will take it from there.
Even with my kids, like, you know, my parents are like, oh, you know, you have to be so mindful with them on the phone and all of this. And I'm like, let me tell you something. Yes, that's true. I said, but they are in God's hands. And my job is to teach them what God's word says, and you know, what they're supposed to be doing, and, you know, lead them and direct them in that way.
That's my guy.
And if he can't do, you know, keep them like how he kept me, and he's seen me, and he's still keeping me. And you know, in business and in entrepreneurship and in trucking and in every area of our life, God is the one who keeps, and he covers, and he protects. When my husband is out on the road, he is the one who keeps, he covers, he protects. Like, there's sometimes he calls me and tells me about some things that was like dangling or wrong or some kind of something, and like he was able to pull off the road just at the right time. That's not just him, that's God's divine protection over him.
Right.
You know, and I think that as entrepreneurs and as business people, it's so important to just, it is what it is. Like, I'm not doing this on my own, you know, the successes, the failures, the ups and the downs, none of it is a surprise to God, and it's all in his hands anyway. And, you know, I just want to flow, and I want everything to flow in the way that the Holy Spirit wants it to flow in, girl. So I want to be respectful of your time, because, girl, we've been on here.
Yes, we have. Yes,
So,
we have.
so I'm gonna
I'm
ask you to leave a last word of encouragement or inspiration to our audience before we wrap it up.
All right. If I had to say something, I would just say, it is well. Because whatever you think, whatever you need, however you need to move, believe it, get you a proper understanding of it, and walk in faith with it. Understand and know you're not going to see all of the parts all at once, but the main thing is to start it. If you move, what you need, who you need, it will come.
Yes.
So, and I say again, it is well, because whatever it is, it's going to be all right.
Yes, because all things work together for
Fuck
good.
those. Come on now. So we get a little spirited on here, but y'all,
how can people contact you if they want to work with you, or if they're interested in any of your courses and getting the book and everything?
All right. So you can find me on well, Instagram will be my biggest one. Y'all can get it quickly. So it's EmmTeeNest Logistics, EmmTeeNest Logistics on Instagram. And once you hit the link in my bio, it'll take you to my Shopify store. That's where you can get the ebook, My Homeboy Said. You can get another ebook. It's called Marian in the Box Truck, that talks about my beginnings. And then I have a course on there for the lead generation. And then I also have a Patreon for those who don't or are not in a position who wants to purchase the course outright for $50 a month. The complete course is there. And I teach you, I have a thing on there where you can make money daily with the lead generation. And I'm implementing other things that are going to make everybody who's involved a complete administrative business, administrative transportation business. So you will know how to run trucks. You will know how to do IFTA. You will know how to do many of the administrative components in the transportation industry, because as we talked about earlier, there's a lot of different ways.
Yes.
And I also do consulting, which you can hit the link and get up with me and let me know what your needs are. If you're looking for free information, just what this is, what it's about, head to my YouTube. I have a free course on there, and I have a whole lot of videos with a whole lot of different subjects, because I want to make sure that I'm cost effective for those who are in between blessings. All right. And then for those who have got a little tithe and offering, you can come over to the paid spaces. All right.
That sounds awesome. We could not end it any better than that. Marian King, thank you so much. And everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Lady Trucking CEO podcast. And we will see you guys next time.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Take care.
All right.